I cannot wait to watch you guys play.
Coming to you from the My Michigan TV studios.
We're going to kick you in the teeth.
It's the Roar Live.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
With hosts, Michigan High School Hall of Fame head coach, Tony Blankenship.
Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass.
The outsider, Scotty William, and Corey Tiez.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. I'm your host, Scotty Williams, and the Roar Live is your streaming choice for Lions coverage and commentary from fans like you on our panel, including Tony Blankenship and Corey Tiez. Today, we're going to recap the Lions' overtime win against the Rams. We're going to check out some highlights, and we'll check in with our field reporter, Dave Scott, live from outside of Ford Field. Tony will take us through his takeaways. You'll have a chance to answer our question of the week, and we'll break down the NFC North after week 1. We'll talk the upsets around the league, and we'll preview week 2 as the Lions face Tampa Bay. And, of course, this guy over here, Corey Tiez, will have his Tell It Like It Is segment. This show is all about you. We want your comments, but this ain't radio, baby. We want to hear and see you, so get your Zoom on and join us. It's easy. You can just scan the QR code on the screen and follow the link, and that'll get you in and bring it. We want to hear from you. We're going to take a look at the highlights first. For this Lions victory, the first quarter was definitely dominated by both teams' defenses. The Lions started with an Alex Anzalone sack on Stafford for a 3-and-out. But the Rams answered back on a 3-and-out sack on Jared Goff by second-year outside linebacker Byron Young out of Tennessee. The Lions again answered back by a sack on Matt Stafford by Levi Onwuzurike. The only scoring in the first quarter would be this 41-yard field goal by rookie Joshua Carty out of Stanford. Tony, and Corey too, give me your takes on that first quarter. It was definitely a defensive type of first quarter, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was definitely a defensive type of first quarter. Yet you could see some things were developing and in play for the Lions to be able to score some points and get some points on the board early with that field goal. Definitely, though, teams were filling each other out. You can tell they know each other very well.
Sure.
And it was that type of first quarter for sure.
What'd you think, Coach?
Flying all around. I thought it was great. The speed of the game looked really, really fast. Both defenses were flying around. Folks were making plays. I enjoyed the first quarter of it. Like you said, like Blanco said, they were filling each other out, and it was a good look. Good look.
Well, quarter 2 opened up a bit for the Lions. Goff just missed on a pass out of reach in the end zone to tight end Sam Laporta, which would then set up a 25-yard field goal by my guy Jake Bates for the Lions for the first score to tie it up 3-3. The Rams would make a risky move on 4th down just shy of the red zone on an incomplete pass to Cooper Kupp. The Lions then took over, and the offense shakes off the rust with this 40-yard gain by Jamison Williams. The offensive grit showed as Gibbs then takes a pass for a first down. As you can see here, that big play making his way down to about the 40-yard line. J-Mo also then took a first down run, and this was a pass to Jahmyr Gibbs for another first down. They just kept moving the ball around. And as you can see here, Goff tried a second down pass to tight end Brock Wright for 3 yards. And that took him down to the LA1, where Jahmyr Gibbs then runs it in for the Lions' first TD of the game to go up 10-3. And that was pretty much it coming into the first half. Joseph made an interception in the end zone. The Lions could have costed themselves some points on the board, but the Rams couldn't capitalize, especially with Hutchinson.
Yep.
With the roughing the passer.
Yep.
And of course, you know, the other penalty. But no, they scored 10-3, Lions up. That ended the second half. Going into the third quarter, the Lions took a 52-yard touchdown, Goff to J-Mo Williams. Look at this. Beauty in the making. What do you think of that one, Cole? Great pass?
Yeah, it was a great play. Big for Williams. This year he has to, show that he belongs. Goff could have led just a little bit more. He had to slow down just a little bit, but he turned, made a great play on the ball. Goff recognized how open he was, and I think it was a pretty good route, that he ran. Was it a
double
stop,
route?
Double route. Mm-hmm. So yeah, nice play, excellent play, great play.
J-Mo Williams has really shown himself in this first game. I would say this is a breakout game for him, don't you think, Tony?
For sure a breakout game for him. Young man is very talented and very fast. No substitute for speed, especially in football. And it's important for him, being young, to get this kind of experience and this kind of success so he can continue to do what he needs to do. And as Corey mentioned, showing that he does belong and can be an efficient NFL football receiver.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, the Rams would battle back in the second quarter with this TD run by Kyren Williams. And they really went on a offensive explosion, so to speak. 17 unanswered points. The fourth quarter saw the Rams just knock it out of the ballpark. Stafford playing from behind. Joshua Carty for a 26-yard field goal. And then Stafford to Cooper Kupp on a 9-yard pass. We've seen that. Mm-hmm. What did you guys think of that big offensive explosion, so to speak, from Stafford? I mean, they looked really powerful, didn't they? That offense really looked good in the first game of the season.
Yeah,
for the Rams.
they did look very good, very efficient. Stafford was 8 for 8 during that drive. Did everything that he wanted to do to be a problem for that defense. He was able to throw the ball all over the field. He did an amazing job on that particular series for them. Like I said, he was 8 for 8. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, kudos to Stafford. He played very well. The guy's a pro. He's a competitor. He's a pro. He was flinging that thing all around, and unfortunately, he made the one mistake that cost him. But overall, he played a pretty good game with a depleted team. He didn't have everybody with him, but you gotta take your hats off to the Lions. They held steadfast and eventually won the game in overtime. But Stafford is something. He's a problem. And the Rams are going to be a problem once they get everybody back.
The Rams would also have a 63-yard gain from a pass from Stafford to Johnson. But the Lions were able to stop the Rams in the red zone. And that is what really solidified this win, I think, for the Lions. The penalty on the Rams prevented the touchdown right after that. The Lions took over on an interception by Johnson, the Rams interception by Johnson. And the Rams then took over and then the Rams turnover incomplete pass to Cooper Kupp. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you can see there, that was a big play there.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp really showed his explosiveness. Looks like he's back true to form. He was injured last year. Of course, last year also he didn't play very well in the playoff game due to injury. But if anything that we've seen tonight, Cooper Kupp is back true to form.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you.
And I think if he stays healthy, he could be a top 5 receiver in this league once again.
Yes, completely agree with that take.
Yeah.
He's been around a long time, been very successful at his craft. He's really good at getting in space and getting open and making plays with the ball in his hands. He's not a guy that's a burner, but he does everything underneath very well.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He knows how to get open in space, and kind of like the Brady Edelman type thing that they got going
sure.
there. Good. Yeah. Good to see him back.
Yep.
Well, Dave is on the line, and he has a clip. He's interviewing somebody from Madison Heights. Jared just gave it to me. I'm sorry if I didn't catch the name. But, Dave, how are you?
Larry from Madison Heights. Go Lions.
I'm Sean from Clinton Township. The Lions whooped Stafford today again. Let's go,
Go
Lions.
Lions. Love you.
Let's go Lions. They're the best. They beat Stafford yet
Go
again.
Detroit.
They beat Stafford yet again. They put him on his butt a couple times, and Stafford's going home crying again.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love Stafford
Gotta
crying.
love it. Super Bowl bound.
Super Bowl bound,
Super
baby.
Bowl bound, baby.
Let's go.
Let's
See the Lion fans definitely going crazy on this overtime victory. Not surprising.
Yeah.
It's a rabid fan base. You know what I'm saying, Coach?
Yeah, it is. It's one game. I don't know if I agree with Stafford going home crying. I think the Lions they escaped the wrath of Matthew Stafford, because if the young man doesn't hold this guard, whoever they brought in to replace, for on the offensive line, if he doesn't hold Hutch, we're having a different conversation here today. Yeah, I'm not Super Bowling it yet, but a good comeback win. Hats off to Montgomery,
Yes.
who just kind of took over that overtime. So,
Well, the Lions tied it up there to 20-20. And then, of course, in OT, the Lions went in for the win. And Jake Bates, boom, tied it up there to make it 20-20. And then it was this play by David Montgomery right into the end zone. Didn't even give Stafford a chance to get back onto the field. And the Lions win 26-20. You are watching The Roar live on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. You can join us after every Lions game this season on any device. Install the My Michigan TV app on your smartphone and smart TV. Is Dave outside again? Do we know? Okay, let's do that. So, guys, we're going to have Dave on here in a second with some more interviews. What did you guys think of this overtime win? I think it was pretty impressive. You see a lot of these guys didn't play in preseason, and they just kind of I noticed every quarter on both sides of the ball. I'm talking defense and offense. They kind of got better every quarter.
Except the third quarter. When
Defensively?
Defensively, they gave up a 14-point lead.
But the Rams did pretty well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, the Rams were very successful, and they figured something out. They were able to make some plays, made some big plays that obviously impacted the game, and making some plays that were going to be able to help them and put them in a position that they were able to tie it up, and then eventually took the lead.
Awesome. What did you think, Co?
I thought the Lions showed their thing, grit. They hung in there. This game could have easily went the other way. The Lions, I do, have a few issues with. I'm not impressed really with the secondary that much yet. They have a lot of growing to do, and both teams, it was real shoddy, like a lot of penalties and things like that. But the Lions were able to pull it together and get beyond all that and win the football game. So you have to take your hats off to that. But again, both teams have to go back into the lab tomorrow and work some things out. The Rams have to get healthy. The Lions have to stay healthy, because if they don't, then things could go way left.
Well, live at Ford Field right now, we have Tyler and Kim, some rabid Lion fans again, and we'll go to that here in just a second.
I'm Tyler Stegman from Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
And I am Kim Stegman from Shepherd, Michigan. Go Lions!
Go Lions, mom and son, season ticket holders for a while. It was an incredible game. I was actually, I do love Stafford as a Stafford guy. I'm all in favor for the boos and all that, but I would have loved just a moment, to kind of give your nod to him. Stafford did a lot for Detroit, and it was just, it's still good to see the guy on the field, but at the end of the day, go Detroit, all Detroit.
Thank you, Matthew Stafford.
Thank you, Matt Stafford,
go
but
Lions.
go Lions forever.
And we are going to win, and we are so excited about this year. Last year was phenomenal. This year's even going to be better.
Super Bowl 24.
Oh, we're there.
Well, has your opinion of the Lions possibly going back to the Super Bowl changed, Tone?
No.
What about you, Co?
Not at all.
So this victory doesn't.
No, it was one game.
Well,
it was the first
that's
game.
true.
It was the first game of the year.
Were you both surprised at all at how they played?
I wasn't surprised
No?
at all. I
Okay.
expected them to play well.
Yeah, they took care of business at
Yes,
home.
they did what they were supposed to do.
Right.
Just like Corey said, they took care of their business. That's what they were supposed to do. First game of the season, you're playing at home. You're the favorite team. You did what you were supposed to do. You took care of business. Whether it took overtime or not, there's going to be a lot of things you got to work out and prepare to fix. But at the same time, they played the way they were supposed to play if they're going to be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. Look, the Tyler and his mind, they said they're there. Are they going to watch another team? Because the Lions aren't going to the Super Bowl. Great win today, opening day. That's what you're supposed to do. Take care of home. They did it. That's it.
Well, this show is all about you. We want your comments because, like I said before, this isn't radio, baby. We want to hear and see you. So get your Zoom on and join us. It's easy. Just scan in on the QR code and follow the link. And guess what? Guess who's back on the line?
Scotty.
Your favorite caller.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Eastvale Joey is back. I'm sure he's got something to say about Corey's comments. What did you think of the game today, Joe?
It was a barn burner, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, did you hear Corey's inflammatory comments on the Lions?
Of course I did. Of course I did. He's such a hater. It's sad. It's sad to see a Detroiter be such a hater.
Let me ask you something. Do you still think they're going to the Super Bowl, Joe?
Scott, I've never made that prediction. I do think they're a playoff team, definitely a playoff caliber team. I think they definitely could make it to the Super Bowl. But, they're, like I said previously, they're going to have the right players on the field to make through to the end of the season, and we'll see what happens. I was kind of worried about Williamson going down early in the game. He looked like he got his legs twisted up pretty bad. But
What stood out to you in a fan perspective, Joe, for the Lions? What really stood out to you?
Well, I think the lack of Amon-Ra St. Brown getting open and getting free. He didn't seem to be much of a factor of the game. Maybe he was mostly a decoy today, but I expect to see a lot more out of him throughout the season. The defense played pretty solidly up front, and linebackers, the backfield, looked a little shaky at times, but I'm glad Stafford didn't get the ball first to start overtime.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, thanks for coming on with us tonight. I know you were itching to put that chain back on.
Absolutely. I couldn't wait for the game to start. Thanks for having me
every time
again.
he's called in, he's had a different Lions jersey or shirt on and hat also.
Yeah.
I got
He's
14
serious.
on today.
Are-
14 today.
Do you have a Lions hat? Like I'm talking like a lion mane hat, like with the fur and everything. Have you got one of those yet?
I don't have one of those, Scott. I'm not gonna.
Well, I'm going to make sure I send you. I'm going to make sure I send you one, Joe.
I like the gangster chain. That's going to work, but I'll never put the furry hat on.
You're not going to put the furry hat on, okay?
Not for the camera.
Will you come in next week or something with face paint? Will we see that from you?
Nah, that's not my shtick there, Scott. But I might be able to get a friend to do something like that.
Okay, well that's good. Well, Joe, thanks for coming on the show with us tonight. We pretty appreciate it.
Thanks for having me again, Scott. You guys take care.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
We have Dave and Jen on the line, live from Ford Field. And where are you?
I'm Jen. This is my husband, Scott. We actually flew in from Minneapolis for the game tonight. I lived in Detroit for many years, became a big Lions fan, and this is my first time back in like 5 years, and I had to bring him to experience the
first Lions game.
The thrill of the Lions game, and we couldn't have picked a better game.
Much more exciting than the Vikings game, let's say that.
Yeah. We got some free football at the end of it. It was exciting. We had a great time, as usual.
Yep. We'll be back.
All right.
Well, of course, we got expert analysis on this game, and this man over here, Tony Blankenship, former U of M, Michigan Wolverine, former Coach of the Year, and of course, Michigan High School Hall of Fame head coach. He played for Michigan from '89 to '93. Tony, what are your takeaways for Week 1 for the Detroit Lions?
Well, a couple things. Offensively, as we talked about a little bit earlier, David Montgomery is a major factor in what they need to do and what they're trying to develop with the foundation they've created so far. They're tough, they're physical. Offensive line is a solid group, very successful, and they did what they were supposed to do to position themselves to win the football game. Defensively, you could see that Aiden Hutchins was playing hard and doing some things successfully out of there, but they need some help on that side of the ball as far as helping him on the other end position, the defensive end. I thought they still played well. Corey mentioned the defensive backs, and that is a concern. That's a concern for me too. They're a young group and they're a new group. It's going to take some time for them to gel as a team, of course, but that particular group they're going to have to figure out as a group how to get things done and so they're not giving up big plays. Played against a really good quarterback today and a really good receiver core. They ended up losing one of the receivers who ended up getting hurt and didn't return. But overall, like we mentioned, the Lions did what they were supposed to do. They were at home. They are they're the NFC runner-up. They're trying to get to the Super Bowl. And if they're going to be a Super Bowl team, they're supposed to win games like this.
Absolutely.
Well, our question of the week to all of you out there in Zoom land and beyond, our question is this: has your opinion changed of the Lions' chances of a Super Bowl berth? These guys, their opinions haven't changed. They say no go for the Lions for a Super Bowl. Tony says a playoff team?
Definitely a playoff team.
Playoff team, Co?
Will 9-8 get you there?
Wow.
Will it wild card you? I guess so, yeah.
It might.
Wild card you. Yeah, wild card
Okay.
you. Yeah. I got him at 9-8.
Well, that's the question out there. Call in on the Zoom. We really want to hear from you. So, let's see here. Oh, we got a couple more fans down in Ford Field.
Wow.
Who do we have, Jared? Who do we got? No names? That's okay. We want to hear from them.
Finkel Wax from Detroit. Tyrone Tyler from Detroit. Today, man, was the best game ever, I swear. Leaving it in with the home opener win, and we ain't had one of those in a long time. The best ever. And the vibes
So
leaving
good.
today.
They tried to take it from us, but we came back and won it. Good style, all running game. That's how we supposed to do it. It's beautiful.
And Dan Campbell, we trust. Jared Goff.
In overtime. Dan Campbell, we trust. That's
You are watching the Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. You can join us live after every Lions game this season on any device. Install My Michigan TV app on your smartphone and smart TV. Let's do a NFC North breakdown after week 1. We've seen the Vikings in a game that, honestly, they should have won 28-6 against a lowly New York Giants team. What were you guys' thoughts on that game?
I felt like, they, like you said, it was a game they felt like they should have won. At the end of the day, you got teams that it's the first part of the year. It's conference. You're trying to make sure you win big games, but I felt like they did what they were supposed to do.
What about you, Co?
Let me get this out of the way real quick. The Giants stink. How much more do we have to see of Daniel Jones? That's one. 2, the Vikings are going to be messed. They're going to mess it up. They're going to mess the NFC North up. They're going to win some games. They're a good team. They're a good, solid team. They got the best receiver in football. Darnold stays healthy. He stays solid. He doesn't make mistakes. The defense is pretty good. The running game is good. Not saying they're going to win the North, but they're going to kind of make it difficult for, teams are going to be jockeying,
Yes.
Everybody's going to be, it's going to be a hard division to win.
Yep.
Well, a game that's seen, a big injury come down to the Jordan Love. He should be out maybe they're saying 3 to 6 weeks. MCL sprain. They lost 34-29 in Brazil to the Eagles.
Yeah.
How is that going to affect the Packers? Gilbert came on here saying, the Packers were all that in a bag of chips a few weeks ago. And now with Jordan Love out, they got to go with Malik Willis unless they sign somebody off the waiver wire or as a free agent. Do you think that's going to stop the flow of the Packers in regards to, let's just say he's out for 3 weeks. They've already lost this game. They got to play another 3. What if they lose that? They're going to start off with 0-4. That doesn't fare well for them in this tight North Division, does it, Tony?
No, it doesn't. That's a tough situation of circumstances. If something like that was to happen when they lose the rest of their games while he's out, they'll be in an uphill battle trying to get in the playoff picture. So ultimately, they're going to have to try to find a way to get this taken care of. With the second-string quarterback and then everybody else collectively coming together. You'll see what kind of football team they are for real now.
That's a good point. Good point.
Well, on the phone right now, on the Zoom, we have Dave, our field reporter, live from Ford Field. Dave!
Hey guys, Dave Scott downtown. I've been catching all of the fan comments, and I thought I would just share mine with you real briefly as well. Dave Scott of My Michigan TV from Troy. And this is the first game that I had an opportunity to get to in the new era of the Lions. I didn't make one last year because we've been doing a lot of television production associated with the games. To start with, the loudest environment I've ever heard at a football game most of the night. 120 decibels and enormously loud. The game, you saw it, incredibly exciting. Moments of drama, sitting on the edge of your seat. We thought we were in control, then we were in trouble, and then it looked like Matt Stafford was going to take it away from us. Lions were able to get back in the end of the game and come up with this amazing victory, which you saw. But the emotions are different when you're right there, when you've invested so much in the tickets, in the effort to get there, waiting all day for the game, and then surrounded by all the other fans in the stadium. The most exciting sporting experience, not to be over dramatic, but in all honesty, the most exciting sporting experience of my entire life. And it would have been enormously disappointing had the Lions not figured out a way to get back into that game. Great adjustments by Dan Campbell, great tenacity by the Detroit Lions, and I'll tell you what, the Lions fans sure do love Jared Goff, chanting his name all night long, almost to the point where it got somewhat uncomfortable. You're thinking about, well, sure, Jared Goff, but what about all the other players? So finally, if you saw the lights flashing on TV, this is how they did it. they had these lights that they handed out to every fan. They were sitting in our seats when we got there, and they were controlling them throughout the entire game. I'm sure it looked amazing on TV, and it was amazing in person. So that's all I got. Congratulations, the Lions 1-0, and we'll be here all season. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dave. He's down there for all the action. I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah.
Especially in that loud. I guess my hearing isn't jealous, but
Yeah,
I know that's a loud environment.
Yeah.
That might be one of the loudest environments in football, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say that. New Orleans as well.
It's tied. Yeah, it's up there with Seattle, Kansas City.
Seattle. Oh, man, of course, those two.
Yep.
We were looking at some comments on our Facebook page here. Great game. Let's see. When they won, the game is a testament to what you need to have, having a good offensive line.
I agree with that statement.
Don't you?
That was that's a great point.
I think both offensive lines played pretty well today.
They did. Absolutely, Scott. They did. They did.
And I know we were talking before, the Rams had to move some people around, and you were talking how they had to, you know, it's playing with each other and getting to know where each other is at all times. And do you think that might have been the reason why the Rams took so many sacks? Or Stafford being pressured?
For sure. Okay. You're going to have that happen when you have a collective group not having a lot of time to spend together. And the offensive line, those 5 guys, have to develop a cohesiveness. The one thing that I thought was impressive was the adjustments the coaches made for the Rams and for the Lions. It was the difference maker today. What you saw was, of course, a major battle. One team taking the lead, the other team coming back and retaking the lead in the Lions. So it happened, though, because of the coaching. Those coaches made some really good decisions, some really good adjustments.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'm not a Campbell guy, but today was good.
Well, we also have some other comments here on our Facebook. The game, we just talked about that one. Good W, they showed lots of guts. James Harris said that. Tamina Washington said, awesome game. Montgomery is a bad boy.
Yeah, he's physical, tough, shoulder square, pad level low guy.
Sure.
He's punishing, and it's something that's going to be, you know, a major contribution to them having success this year. They got a great, you know, 1-2 punch with the other tailback, Gibbs. And look, that's a good 1-2 punch to have. They're both physical guys. It's tough to play the game that way throughout 4 quarters, but the Lions will be doing it the way things look now.
Going back to the NFC North breakdown, Corey, I wanted to get your opinion on this since your Cowboys are in the same division with the Eagles. Did the Eagles look good to you against the Packers?
They did. They looked good last year. They were 10-0. They look good again.
You think Barkley's going to make a difference?
He will. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can keep things open for those other receivers. I've never, ever loved Jalen Hurts, but he does just enough. And the guy's, he's a hard worker. He's smart. But, yeah, Philly is going to be trouble to deal with. Usually Dallas and Philly flip-flop the East. So, but Saquon will definitely make a difference. You know, he's kind of like that receiver/back.
Yep.
What they needed. I think they will be fine. I think
they'll be
fine.
The last game we need to talk about is the #1 quarterback selected in the draft this year. Pulls out a victory, mostly by the Bears defense. 24-17 win against the Tennessee Titans. Corey, how did you feel about that game? How did you feel about your guy, Caleb Williams, in this first week?
I loved it. My guy, you guys. I slipped that in there. I like the kid. You guys don't really like him that much, but I like him. I think he's going to be fine. The one thing I did see in Caleb today, I saw him use his feet. I saw his improv, and I also saw him he's very calm. It didn't get to him that he was having a bad day. He made some great throws a couple of times, and he made a lot of bad throws. But those are rookie mistakes. Those are learning curves. He's going to be fine. That defense is good. And that line has to work a little bit better. But the Bears are going to be hard to deal with as well. That North is just going to be a tough division, period.
For sure.
But Caleb, he'll be fine.
This show is all about you. We want your comments. and we want to hear from you, and we want to see you. So get on the Zoom and join us right now after this Week 1 victory, overtime victory for the Detroit Lions. Just scan that QR code and get in on the conversation. We were going to talk Week 1 upsets outside of the NFC North. I know the big one was the Patriots beating the Bengals. How do you guys feel about this? Is this just Bengals being rusty and not having Jamar Chase through training camp, or what happened there?
Blank, you know what? They mucked the game up. The Patriots did. The Patriots are always going to play defense. They're always going to play hard. That's who they are. I'm starting to wonder if this is just what the Bengals do. Lose early, get hot in the middle. I don't think it's a panic, but it's a big win. It's a big win for the Patriots. That gives them, the confidence for the next week.
Yeah.
So it was a big win. People have, Joe Cool, Burrow, the next guy after that other guy.
Yeah.
So he does this. They do this. I still have questions about the offensive line. So Philly, Cincy is, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they respond next week. But that was a big win. Very shocking, very surprised about how New England took care of business today.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think the big takeaways were for that Patriots victory over the Bengals?
You know what? Similar to what Corey is saying about playing the game close to the vest is what I called it. Okay. You basically, you're going to do all the most basic, simple things you can to make sure you play the game and you're not hurting yourself with penalties, you're not turning the ball over. You just want to keep it close to you so you can have an opportunity to win it at the end, or make it frustrating for that team so that they aren't able to do the things they are naturally like to do. And then you start to see some disappointment, frustration, and now you got an opportunity to win a game like that.
Do you think Jared Mayo made a big difference being the head coach there, and he was a beast when he played?
Yeah, I think obviously defense is going to be their staple. For Belichick, defense was their staple if you're a New England Patriot. Yeah. So he's going to take on that recipe. He's going to learn. I'm sure he's learned a lot already from Coach Belichick, and he's going to continue to move that same type of system. And it worked today against one of arguably the best quarterbacks in the NFL, in Joe Burrow. So I was very surprised. Actually, just very surprised by the fact that they weren't able to score no more than 10 points.
Yeah. The next big upset was the Steelers beating the Falcons 18-10. Cole, how did you feel about this game? Kirk Cousins with his new team and kind of laid an egg.
It's what Cousins does. So you guys think back. I picked the Steelers to win this game. Look back. I picked the Steelers to win. I didn't know Fields would be the starter. I didn't know Russell. But the Steelers did what they do.
Yep.
They played defense. They got pressure on Cousins. He clammed up. And the outcome was the Steelers win with all field goals. They made the game very ugly and physical. And Kirk Cousins didn't look good today.
No.
And I'm hearing whispers of the kid coming in midway through at some point. It could be sooner than that.
Yeah, I was shocked at how Bijan Robinson didn't get going. Drake London was kind of scarce in that game. Tony, what are your takeaways with the Steelers beating the Falcons?
I think Tomlin is an amazing head football coach and knows how to get his players ready to play against whomever they're playing against. And it didn't matter to Pittsburgh that Atlanta had made all these different moves, and everybody's kind of making them a paper successful team this year without it actually happening. And it still can. But in this particular game, going against a head coach like Tomlin, just very impressed with him and what he was able to get those players to do.
You are watching The Roar live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. You can join us live after every Lions game this season on any device. Install the My Michigan TV app on your smartphone and smart TV. Looking ahead to Week 2, we got to look at the Lions' opponent, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll tell you what. 37-20 over the Commanders, who, you know, we knew the Commanders were going to have their issues this year, and especially with Jaden Daniels. He didn't look all that great, but Baker Mayfield, as you affectionately call him, Bubby Brister, was 24 of 30, 289 yards, and 4 touchdowns, which makes this a pretty good Week 2 matchup against the Lions.
It does, and I like I said, I'm starting to, like Baker. I like him. I like his grit. I like his guttiness. I think the Lions win this game, even though Tampa Bay had a great day today. Baker had a good day. The receivers had a good day. The defense is solid. The Lions is just a better football team, I think. They have a better quarterback. I give Goff the edge over there. But I think they're at home again. The Lions are at home, correct?
Yes.
So, yeah, I think the Lions will win this game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a tough game. But the Lions will probably win this game by about 7.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, let me ask you something. Going into this game against Tampa, it's got to scare you a little bit with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. You know, these guys are, to me, are just as good as Nakua and Kupp. Do you, Tony, see this being another huge test for the Lions secondary?
Yes,
next week?
It will be for sure. Not having Nakua the second half of the game today had an impact on the game with the Rams. And Cooper Kupp being there and kind of had to do everything. And I think the Lions were able to make some really good adjustments and figuring out a way to shut down Cooper Kupp later. And obviously the Rams weren't able to, win the football game. But going into this game with Tampa, they got some great receivers as well. You got a group back there that's still trying to figure it out. And they got a veteran quarterback who is out to prove something. So it doesn't get any easier for the Lions in that standpoint.
Yeah, that's a good point. Baker's always trying to prove something.
Yes.
He always plays chippy. So we'll see.
Before we go into the next 3 games, I got a question. We were talking about this. Who would be your defensive player of the game for the Detroit Lions today? Cole, what do you think?
Oh, man. I'm going to say the Lions as a whole. The defense, like
the whole defense?
The whole defense, because everyone, like the front, they weren't overly great.
Right.
The linebackers were, everybody did their part, and that's how that's who they are. That's how they win games. I don't think they have superstars. They play as a unit. They played hard as a unit, and I think the entire defense, and Glenn did a great job today. I think the entire defense.
I think for me, I'm going to go with Alex Anzalone. Just that first quarter really set the tone for that defense and got after Stafford pretty quick. Tony, who do you have your defensive player of the game for the Lions?
I'm going to go with Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
I felt like Aiden was so disruptive throughout the game, and I'm sure caused a lot of hurries. I know he only had the 1 sack, I believe, but I felt like he created such a problem for what they wanted to do offensively to the point where they had to always have him chipped with the tailback coming to help out the tackle. I know the Rams had some issues. We saw that with the hold and the face mask on the touchdown.
Sure.
So we know that they had to work some things out, but Aiden took advantage of that young man. He took advantage of that tackle, and he made things really tough for the Rams the rest of the way.
Yeah. Jumping to the offense, who do you have as your offensive star this week for the Lions?
I'm going to go with Jameson Williams.
Okay.
Young man had a big game, catching the football, making plays, using the speed, and being dangerous. And he is a dangerous football player at the receiver position. So I'm going with Jameson Williams.
What do you got, Cole?
Same here.
Jameis. Yep. I'm going to go David Montgomery.
Yep.
I thought he ran the ball explosively, especially in that last drive in overtime.
Yep.
He really is impressive to me. I think the Bears made a mistake a long time ago letting him go, and I think they're going to pay for it. But speaking of the Bears will play the Texans and C.J. Stroud. How do you guys, what do you think is going to take that game?
The Bears are going to have to be better on offense to have a chance.
Great point.
To win that game. The Texans are good all around. offense, defense, coach, quarter, they're good all around. The Bears have to play better. Caleb will have to get his mojo going. He'll have to get a rhythm. He'll have to play better in order to have a chance. I still think the Texans win that game, but the Bears are going to – offense is going to have to, kick in.
I agree. I think the Texans will win the football game. I just think they're a step ahead when it comes to who they are right now and the development of their organization and team, as opposed to where the Bears are. The Bears are up and coming still. Mm-hmm. And the day's win, which is still very important, was a win for them. But you can still see that there are things that they have to work on, as Corey mentioned, if they're going to be able to play elite. And I believe Houston's going to end up being one of those elite teams this year.
Okay. Well, we have to. This is another game that the Packers could go 0-2. They go in to play Indianapolis, who actually took a loss today, but they played pretty well. Mm-hmm. Who do you guys got in that game?
Indianapolis at Green Bay. I'm still going to go with Green Bay just because I still believe that their structure, their team is in play. They still got a good head football coach. They got some really good skilled players. They got some really good running backs. The defense is still solid. I'm going to go with the home team.
Okay. Who do you got, Cole?
I'm going to go with Green Bay, too.
Really?
This is a big game for them, obviously, with their quarterback, out. But again, we talked about, organizations losing their starter. This could happen to anybody. And if it does, everybody's in trouble if they lose their starter. So I like Green Bay's structure. Again, I like their leadership and Coach LaFleur. And the defense, I think, will hold tight. And I think they'll figure it out at the quarterback position to kind of just get through that win.
The last game on the agenda here, Vikings 49ers next week. I know the 49ers play tomorrow night against the Jets. Am I
yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
Jets.
Yes.
So they got the Jets.
Yes.
So do you see the Vikings? I really want to see, before I make a prediction on this, I really want to see, just how good the 49ers are going to look tomorrow night against the Jets.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think we have to see where San Francisco is and how they lined up. How will they line up with the other teams that are supposed to be the conference leaders this year?
Yes.
With Detroit, with Philadelphia, and with Dallas as well. So we'll get a chance to see San Francisco tomorrow night and see where they are.
Yep.
You are watching the Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube. You know it. You can join us live after every Lions game this season on any device. Install it on your smartphone, smart TV, and get in on the conversation, the QR code. We love to hear from you. We've heard from Eastvale Joey tonight. Yep. We've heard from numerous fans down in right off of Ford Field after that big victory against the Rams in overtime. Samuel Bell has got in on the conversation. He said, great win for the Lions. I happen to agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
so,
sure.
Corey?
Yes, sir.
You like to tell it like it is.
Okay.
What is your tell it like it is moment for us this week?
Oh, man.
Get under the skin of... You do a good job of getting under the skin of Detroit Lions fans.
Lions fans, just look at me and listen to this. Great win today. Now, I want you to know, I'm not a football perfection person. I don't know everything about football. I'm not a football guru like my guy at the other end, the Hall of Famer, Tony Blanco. But what I am is a truth teller. I'm going to tell you the truth. Lions fans... I never even played football. I played football 1 year, 8th grade year. Top 3 mistakes I've ever made in my life. Easy. I didn't even know, I knew I was in trouble when my grandmother had to tell me where to put the pads and things like that. So I knew it was going to be bad. So my thing is, though, but I was honest with myself. I knew I was going to be a bad player. But I just did it. I tried it. I wanted to try it. Lions fans, what you tend to do is take average players and turn them into good players. You're so thirsty for wins and Super Bowls and championships. You take good players and you try to make them great players. My point is, you have a good football team. Goff is not great. He's good. Amon-Ra, he's not great. He's good. Hutch is not great. He's good. But you guys draft and get free agencies and you call them all great players and you think you're going to just waltz your way into the Super Bowl. 2, I'm not I'm still not impressed with the front getting to the quarterback. I'm not impressed with that. I'm not impressed with the linebacking core, and your corners still need help. This is just real stuff. These are just facts. Your corner, your secondary didn't look great today. Actually, Stafford picked them apart. He picked them apart. And lastly, Scott, this is to you. I got the 3 C's for you guys. Control, consistency, and contact. Bates is going to have to do that. He had chip shots today. So earlier in the preseason, they were saying his consistency of contact wasn't great. So you got the kickoffs and the extra points now. So I say that to say, with all of that being said, you're going to look at 9 and 8. That's just to me. That's my opinion. Most of my opinions are right. They're facts. And I don't want you to get mad at me, Lions fans. I'm like Snoop said, I'm only being real. Don't get mad. I'm only being real. And that's what I see. That's what I see. This game could have gone easily to the Rams without that holding call.
Oh, for sure.
That's it. The Rams win the game. Yeah. So take this one, embrace it, hold on to it. It was a good win. Come back. Campbell was great.
But you know what, though? I mean, this isn't your typical old Lions of old. I mean, you wouldn't have seen a Lions team 2 or 3 or 4 years ago pulling out a victory in overtime like this.
I agree, Scott, but we're the thing we have to be, recognizing now is that they are the elite or supposed elite team in the NFC.
Yeah.
Right.
They're expected to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, we're not. I'm not at least I'm not looking at it like, well, there's not the same old Lions.
Yeah.
No. You're a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's over with.
Type team now.
Right.
It's no longer same old Lions. That's not even a conversation.
No, that's it.
You're an elite, top performing organization in the NFL. That's expectations are high. We expect you to be successful in those expectations.
You got a statue of your head coach.
Well, they were
Taco Bell.
They were successful tonight.
Yes, they were.
They were.
Absolutely.
Week 1 sets the tone for the season, just like last year when they beat the Chiefs, whether they were without Kelsey or however you want to put it. They still won. It set the tone for the rest of the year. Corey Chandler agrees with me. The Lions are going to be a problem. If they can stay healthy, that is the key. Can Jared Goff stay healthy? I agree with that. Agree with that comment, Corey. Guys, what is the big for next week going into playing Tampa? What is your biggest? What is your biggest question mark for the Lions?
Me? I'll go first.
Yeah.
Golf. I was impressed with Golf today. Were you? He threw a pick.
Goff played pretty well.
He threw a pick like he always does. People forget this guy. They forget. They just forget about it. Golf is going to have to play better, to me. And Amon-Ra, I don't know where he was. Did they lock him? Did they have a lockdown corner over there?
I don't think so. I'm going to be honest with you. I think, like
somebody
Joe
tell me
was
that?
saying,
Yeah.
he could have been a decoy. You see that a lot, don't you, Tony?
You do. You have a guy sometime, and everybody's keying on him. But I didn't see a lot of doubling of anybody out there when I was watching the defense. It just looked
But
like.
was it something when you look at that with Amon-Ra Brown not really being involved in the game much? Like you said, you don't want to show all your cards in the first week. Maybe I think what you're going to see with the Lions, personally, I think you're going to see weeks where you see Jamison Williams do what he can do, and then next week you might not see that. You might see Amon-Ra Brown. The week after that, you might see Sam Laporta.
Well, to your point, that's a good point, Scott. This might be a good thing because he didn't go nuts.
Right.
So this could be good for the Lions. But I think Golf has to play better.
Yes.
Like he always gives me that interception. I wait on it all the time.
Yeah, I totally agree with the fact that my take from it is he has to play better if they're going to be successful against Tampa Bay. The thing that I'm looking at too now is just the fact that again they're familiar with each other.
Yes.
They just played last year in the playoffs.
Yes. Sure.
So this is going to be interesting to see how the adjustments are made on both sides from both coaches.
Yeah.
I think the Lions should win the game as well.
Okay.
I think they're the best team between the two. I don't think Tampa Bay has enough to be able to overcome that.
What about you, Cole? You think they're going to win?
I think they're going to win. I got a real quick question for I think the Lions will win.
Okay.
I got a quick question for Tony. I watched a lot of football this weekend. You guys too. You tell me.
Okay.
Does the quarterback have to know every position on the field? Is that why he gets paid the most? Does he have to know every receiver, the safety, does he have to know everything, every player?
Yeah, he has to know what everybody's supposed to be doing. Okay. That's his responsibility.
Okay.
He's literally the general on the field.
Okay.
He's responsible to know for what both the center, both guards, both tackles, tight end, both receivers or 2 or 3 receivers, 1 or 2 backs, whoever. His responsibility is the whole offense.
Okay.
And as well as to know what the defense is trying to do.
Okay.
He's really that much of a commander of everything that's going on and a general of everything that's going on. And it's not easy. It's a very difficult thing to do, to play the position. So many things you have to learn from it.
Yeah.
Every level on defense, D-line, linebackers, DBs,
Yeah.
where guys want to be.
That's what I was trying to say,
where they're going to be, how they're going to line up, are they going to blitz, are they going to stay in zone. It's not easy. He's but he has to be aware of all of it.
I watched a lot of football this weekend, college and pro, and I was just looking at the quarterback, and their calls and their checks and things like that. I just wanted to ask you that.
The one thing real quick that in the NFL, they do have the centers will make the checks up front. So that takes a little bit of the pressure off the quarterback.
Okay.
He's able to do a little bit of just taking care of the next level, linebacker or secondary.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Corey Chandler came back in. They said they rolled a lot of coverage to St. Brown, which is why Jamison was able to get going like he did. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's definitely something that happened. Corey's a very sharp guy. He knows the game of football well, and that is something that I'm sure they did in rolling coverage. I didn't see a lot of double coverage, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they definitely were making sure that they kept their eye on where he was every time. And then, and just like Corey mentioned, Jamison was able to get free and make some plays. On one of the plays, he was in one-on-one. He just beat the guy with a double move, a hitch and go.
Right. Yeah.
On the other plays, though, the other couple big plays he made down the field, they were probably because the coverage had been rolled.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks, Corey, because I just thought he just got blanketed.
Well, it's nice that we have
got handcuffed.
some guys, some fans watching the show and give us their expert opinion, which is why we love you, the fans, and we love it when you call in and give us your comments on Facebook, right there on the Zoom. That is the QR code to get in on the conversation. Guys, a lot of great football coming up all season long. You think they're 9-8?
Yeah.
What did you say you thought they were going to be?
I still think they'll do what they did last year or one game difference.
Okay.
So I'm going to say either 12-5 or 11-6.
Well, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with that too. I really am.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We'll see.
Well, thank you for watching The Roar Live right here on My Michigan TV, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. I am your host, Scotty William. The Roar Live is your streaming choice for Lions coverage and commentary from fans like you and our panel, including this guy right here, Tony Blankenship, and my man right here, Corey Tiez. You can join us live next week after the Lions play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Thanks for joining us. For Jared and David in the back, and of course, Dave Scott in the field, getting the fan coverage of your Detroit Lions. I'm Scotty William. We'll see you next time on the